morning. Hello, I am Roxanne Klassen and I am a yoga instructor at Firehouse Yoga Studios in Des Moines. Great, good morning everyone. Good to see you all here. Yes, on the podium or on the stage here this morning modeling the poses will be Hillary, also an instructor at Firehouse Yoga, and to her, your left, is Denise. Denise will be also modeling some poses. She'll also be just walking around helping anybody if you need some help, wave her down. I too will be walking around a little bit even as I do class. So if you're struggling with something, just wave us down and we can help you out as much as possible. Okay, everybody feeling good this morning? Yeah, busy weekend. Okay, we will go ahead and get started, and we will begin this morning in our comfortable seated positions. You can sit cross-legged or any other way that feels good to you. Grounding down through the earth with those sits bones as we find our comfortable seat, and just very slowly starting to close the eyes and soften the face and just come into our breath. We'll do just a little bit of centering here this morning. Just drawing the focus into the body, into the center of the body and into the breath. And just noticing the breath. And allowing that breath to help clear the mind and bring you into the present moment. Allow the muscles on the face to soften. The jaw to soften, perhaps opening and closing the mouth a couple times to unlock that jaw that we so often clench. And just feeling the skin fall away from the muscle, fall away from the bone, and the body become quiet. And with that quiet in the body and that gaze drawn inward, beginning to scan the body, perhaps from your toes up through the legs. Scanning slowly and stopping anywhere along the way where you might feel a little tension or holding, stress. And if feeling any, just breathing into that spot, sending your next inhalation there, and on the exhale, releasing that tension. And then moving on. Taking your inner gaze up through the torso, through the shoulders, perhaps lifting the shoulders up ever so slightly towards the ears, and then allowing them to fall more gently down on the back body, releasing any tension that might be there. And finally then allowing that inward gaze to move up through the face and up to the top of the head, softening the corners of the eyes, that space between the eyes, that third eye area. And just enjoying your breath here for a few moments of silence. And then finally, beginning to deepen the breath ever so slightly. And with a deep inhalation, taking your arms up towards the sky, perhaps lifting the heart and the chin up towards the sky also, gathering in all that is good, all that you need. And then allowing the palms to come together, and with an exhalation, drawing those thumbs down to the center of the heart. Just nestling the thumbs into the heart in prayer position here, setting your intention, devotion, dedication for this morning's practice. Perhaps it's for you, perhaps it's for someone else, perhaps it's for something much greater. And with that intention in mind, we will begin our practice together by chanting Om, the sound of the universe, together one time. With a nice deep inhalation. Om. And then dropping the chin to the chest and releasing those hands back down to the tops of your thighs and opening your eyes, drawing the chin back up to parallel. Becoming more aware of your surroundings once again, but keeping that peace, that quiet in your body throughout practice today. We'll go ahead and inhale, taking our arms up and around once again. And with a deep exhalation, just folding forward. As we fold forward, the palms of our hands come down to the ground. And as the palms meet the ground, maybe gently pushing into the ground to send those sits bones back down to the ground for a little bit deeper stretch. Just inhaling and exhaling, inhaling into that lower back, that lower body, releasing any tension there. Inhale and exhaling through the nose. On your next inhale, walking those hands over your right knee. Taking the belly button over that right knee also. Now lifting up onto fingertips, stretching the arms nice and long, stretching the body nice and long. Inhale, and then on your exhale, just folding over that knee, letting go. Again, breathing into that left side of the body. Feeling the length, the opening. And then finally on your next inhale, allowing that right forearm to come down to the ground and taking the left arm up and over to the right for a nice side body stretch. Opening the heart to the sky ever so slightly. And just pushing back with the back of the head. Little heart opening here as you inhale, exhale. And then on your next inhale, folding once again over that right knee. And exhale. On your next inhale, walking the fingertips back to the center. And exhaling, folding a little deeper this time. And on your next inhale, walking those hands over the left knee. Again, stretching out, coming onto fingertips, stretching more to the left, more over that knee. And then on your exhale, releasing, folding. Feeling that stretch on the right side of the body, the lengthening. Pushing the palms down into the ground. If your right sits bone has come up off the ground, for a little bit deeper stretch, you can push those palms down. Good. And then on your next inhale, dropping that left forearm down to the ground. And exhaling, reaching that right arm over to the left for a nice full body stretch, feeling that stretch from the right hip all the way out the right fingertips, grounding down maybe a little bit more through that right hip to increase that stretch if you would like. Inhale, pushing back with the back of the head to open up the heart to the sky. Exhale, and on your next inhale, folding over that left knee once again. Exhale, inhale, walking those hands back to center. Exhale, one last full expression of your fold. And then with a deep inhale, walking those fingertips back towards the body and coming back to your seated position. Beautiful. From here, we'll make our ways into tabletop. So on hands and knees, with those knees right underneath the hips, the hands right underneath shoulders, fingers spread nice and wide so you have a nice base. If the shoulders are a little cranky this morning, perhaps turning those fingertips out to the sides a little bit so the shoulders can come more easily onto the back. And we'll find a little spine awakening here, some cat and cow. So with a nice deep inhale, and then on your exhale, pushing the middle back up towards the sky, tucking that tailbone under, moving up into sitting cat or cat position. Breathing into that opening between the shoulder blades here as the shoulders come off the back, letting the crown of the head drop towards the ground. Again, the tailbone pushing down towards your knees. And then on your next deep inhale, moving into cow position. So allowing those shoulder blades to come together, crown of the head goes up towards the lake. The sits bones spread wide out behind you. The inner thighs push out towards the back. Finding an opening here as those shoulder blades come together. Now we'll do this a couple more times on your own breath. So a nice deep inhale here. On your own breath, using the entire exhale, moving back into cat position. Tucking that tailbone, perhaps finding a little bit more opening between the shoulders. And then on your next inhale, moving back into cow, slowly with the entire breath. Taking the crown of the head forward, neck long. Exhale, moving back into cat. And then with your next inhale, moving back into cow. And then from there, on your next inhale, finding that neutral spine, that spot halfway in between. As you do so, turning those toes under behind you so that the mounds of your feet are grounding into the earth. Now pushing back through your heels, almost as if you're going to lift your knees up off the ground, but you stop just before they lift. Pulling that belly button into the spine. And the crown of the head nice and long, the neck nice and long. This is your neutral spine. From here, we're going to send those sits bones back behind you to your heels, pushing back into child's pose here. This pose is here for you anytime throughout practice today. If you need a little grounding, if you're a little tired, if maybe you were up a little late last night, I don't know, there's a few things going on, you can come here to child's pose anytime you want and just breathe. Resting your forehead on the ground, or perhaps resting your fists right under your forehead to rest your forehead on. From here, grounding down through those hands, once again, spreading the fingers wide. We're going to lift the knees just a little bit and push those sits bones back towards the back even more. Coming into a puppy dog or baby dog pose. Breathe into that backside body with those knees bent. And then slowly on your next exhale, slowly straighten those knees, moving back into full downward dog. Feeling that stretch along the back of the body. The heart is pushing forward through the hands to stretch out the front body. Then from the heart, you push up towards those hips to lengthen. And then from the hips, pushing down through the heels to lengthen the back of the legs. Go ahead and bend through that right knee quite a bit. Stretching through that left leg. So a straight left leg, bending the right knee. Get a nice hamstring stretch there. And then reversing that out, bending through that left knee with a straight right leg, getting a nice stretch there. And then finally coming back into your downward dog pose, pushing back even more. Take those sits bones back even more. And then inhale, looking forward between your hands. On the exhale, we're going to walk those feet forward towards your hands into forward fold or Uttanasana. So taking as many steps as you would like to move forward. And then once in Uttanasana, just enjoying your breath here. Crown of the head down towards the ground. Nice deep inhale, raising those sits bones up a little bit higher. And exhale, folding a little bit deeper. Good. From here, taking those hands to your hips and taking the elbows out behind you to place the shoulders on the back. Squeeze those shoulder blades together, and on your next inhale, coming up to a standing Tadasana mountain pose position, leading with the shoulders. Beautiful job, everyone. Here, releasing those hands down to your side, just checking to make sure that you are paralleling the feet. And our toes are nice and light. So pick the toes up off the ground and spread through the toes, and then gently place them back on the ground. Beautiful. Feeling that alignment of the spine, growing nice and tall, the crown of the head reaching up towards the sky. And then we'll inhale, take our hands up and around, reaching up towards the sky, and exhale, swan dive forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. Cupping our hands about 6-8 inches in front of the feet. Inhaling to a half lift, flat back. Crown of the head moves forward, and then exhale, folding a little bit deeper. From here, we're going to let our hands come down to the ground. Inhale, and exhale, step that right foot back. Full length in the mat, moving into straight leg lunge here. So allow the left knee to move forward as you move that right heel back behind you. So that right heel's an anchor. Keep lifting through the right thigh, moving back through that right heel, and allow that left knee to move a little more forward, getting a nice deep hip opening stretch here. Inhaling, exhale. Good. Inhale. On your next exhale, step that right foot up to meet the left, back to Uttanasana, forward fold. Hands find the ground. Inhale. Exhale, stepping that left leg back nice and long, full length of the mat. Pushing back through that left heel. The heel will probably never touch the ground, but it is pushing back as if it will. So we're getting a nice stretch through that entire left leg. Right knee comes forward. Breathing in here to your hips. Doing any movements here that feel good to you with your hips. If you'd like to move side to side a little bit. Inhale. exhale. One more inhale. Enjoy the stretch. And here on the exhale, let's step that right leg back to meet the left, moving into downward dog pose once again. Nice full body stretch here again. From the heart, push down into the hands. And then from that heart, lengthen up through the hips. And then from the hips down through the heels, getting a nice stretch. Good. Inhale, moving out to high plank, high push-up position. Hands or shoulders right underneath wrist, right over wrist here. And you can go ahead and lower your knees down to the ground. Again, keep the back toes turned under and keep the energy out those heels, though, as you do so. So we're keeping that low back safe. Inhale, and then exhale, slowly lower down to the ground, onto your bellies. Good. Taking our forearms out in front, taking the elbows right underneath the shoulders. Moving into Sphinx pose here, paralleling our forearms towards each other. And then inhale, lift the head of the arm bones up towards the ears and then pull the shoulders back onto the back body, moving the heart forward, getting a nice opening here through the front part of the body. Relaxing the head, so shaking the head yes, shaking the head no, relaxing that neck, just allowing the back of the head to be right in line with the spine, so no strain there. Inhale, exhale. Beautiful job. Turning through those toes once again. We're going to come back onto the palms of our hands. Inhale and exhale. Move on back to downward dog. Inhale, looking forward between your hands. Exhale, a little bend to the knees. And step or hop, if you would prefer, on forward into Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhaling a half lift, flat back. Crown of the head comes forward. And exhale, folding a little deeper. Good. Again, bringing our hands to our hips, squeezing those elbows together, bringing the shoulder blades onto the back, pulling that belly in on your next inhale, coming up to stand, to Tadasana, mountain pose, nice strong pose. Releasing those hands down to our sides. Beautiful. Inhale, arms up and around. And we'll take a little side bend. So taking both arms to the right side, lengthening out that left, pushing down more heartily through the entire left foot as we increase that stretch on our left. Inhaling back up to center. Exhale. And then inhale, taking that to the left side. Again, increasing the heaviness of the right foot here to increase the stretch that you get on that right side. Inhaling back up to center, perhaps opening the heart up to the sky, taking the chin up to the sky, and exhale, swan dive forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. Good. From here, we'll step or hop back into downward dog. So moving back. Excellent. From here, inhale, taking that right leg up behind you. Reach out towards the back, so lengthen through that entire right side. Toes of the foot down towards the ground if you can, so we're getting a little bit of an inward spiral stretch through that leg. Inhale, reach back a little bit more, and then bending through the leg. On the exhale, step it in between your hands, coming into that straight leg lunge position once again. Just enjoying a breath here. Inhale. Exhale. On your next inhale, bringing those hands up to that right thigh. Kind of an in-between stance here. Pushing back more heartily through that left foot. And then inhale, arms up and around, crescent lunge, warrior one variation here. Pushing back through that left heel. So strong back leg, strong anchor here. Allow that front knee to move a little more forward. Inhaling. Exhale. Beautiful job. Inhale, bringing hands to heart center here. Now, you can lower that back knee down to the ground at this point, or you can keep it up if you're a more advanced practitioner. From here, inhale, taking the crown of the head forward, and then exhale. Let's take that left elbow to the outside of the right thigh for a little bit of a twist here. Using that elbow against the outside of the thigh, pushing one into the other to increase your stretch. On the inhale, taking the crown of the head more forward, pulling out of the hips, and on the exhale, deepening that twist. Beautiful. Inhaling back to center. Exhale. Inhale, hands to either side of that front foot, and exhale, step on back, downward dog. Again, here in downward dog, take any movement that feels good to you. So if you want to bicycle through the feet a little bit, you need a little bit more, take it. If you need a little bit less, take that also. Beautiful. Next, inhale. Let's take that left leg up behind, lengthening it out towards the back, towards the sidewalks, the walking path behind you. All the way from the left armpit down through the left foot, flexing the foot, toes down to the ground. Now step as if you're stepping on an accelerator. So you're going to push the ball of the foot back even more. Inhale, then bending through that knee. Exhale, step it on through, coming into straight leg lunge. Pulling the belly in, taking the shoulders onto the back, taking that right leg nice and strong as it lifts up towards the sky. Inhaling, bringing our hands to that left thigh first. And then pulling the belly in, tucking the tailbone under. Let's inhale and take those hands up to the sky. Crescent lunge once again on the left side. Pull the belly into the spine at the same time. Pull that lower back up and in as they meet in the middle of the body. Inhaling, exhale. Beautiful. Next inhale, let's bring hands to heart center. And again, you can lower that back knee down to the ground, but do keep the toes turned under and keep energy out that heel. Inhale, bringing the crown of the head, the torso forward, lengthening forward towards the stage. And exhale, let's take that right elbow to the outside of the left thigh. Using that isometric pressure of elbow against thigh to increase your stretch. Inhale, pull out of the hips towards the leg, and exhale, twist a little deeper. Strong back leg here, so keep sending energy out that back heel. Inhale, exhale. Inhale back to center. Exhale, inhale, hands to either side, and exhale, step on back, downward dog. Beautiful job. Inhale forward into a high plank, high push-up position. Here again, you can drop those knees to the ground, or you can keep them lifted, your choice. Nice deep inhale. Bend the elbows just a little bit to bring the shoulder blades together. And then on your exhale, lower all the way down to the ground, letting the heart move forward as you lower down. Beautiful. This time, let's take our hands about mid-chest. Nice wide stance with our hands. So on either side, they can be off your mat even. Let's inhale, take the head of the arm bones, your shoulders up towards your ears. And then move them back away from the ground. So on your back body, they're going to lift towards the sky, pushing down through the tops of all 10 toes here. Toenails on the ground. Inhale up, let those shoulders lift you up as your heart moves forward towards the leg. Just enjoy cobra pose here, this heart opener. Inhale, lengthening through the lower back. So if you're feeling any crunching in the lower back, come down a little bit and lengthen. Inhale, exhale. Go ahead and turn through those toes now once again. Inhale, pull the belly in nice and strong. And exhale, push on back, downward dog. Enjoy your downward dog here. Inhale, look forward between your hands. Exhale, little bend to the knee and step or hop on forward into Uttanasana. Forward fold once again. Good crown of the head down towards the ground. Sits bones up towards the sky. Let those inner thighs push out towards the back. Inhale, cupping the ground, a half lift. Exhale, fold a little bit deeper. Here in this fold now, let's tiptoe those fingertips over to the outside of the right foot. As you do so, tack that left hip back a little bit more, getting a little bit of a twist here. We want to keep our hips square to the front, so keep tacking that left hip back as you twist more to the right. Inhaling back to center. Exhale, and then inhale, let's walk those fingertips over to the left. Again, now tap that right hip back, so we're keeping our hips square to the front. Let the crown of the head just fall down towards the ground, right in line with the spine. Release any tension there. Inhaling back to center. Exhale, fold even a little bit deeper. Enjoy your breath here. Inhale, exhale, and on your next inhale, inhale, arms up and around, reaching up towards the sky. And exhale, hands to heart center. Good. From here, everyone, inhale, arms up and around. Exhale, swan dive forward. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhaling that half lift once again. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift, and exhale, step on back, downward dog. Inhale, taking that right leg up behind you, reaching out towards the back, lengthening that entire right side. On an exhale, step it on through, in between your hands, grounding down at a 90-degree angle with that back foot. So the back foot's going to be parallel to the back of your mat now. There you go. Lining up so your front heel bisects your back foot. So it comes right to the arch of your back foot. Beautiful job. From here, take your right forearm. Beautiful. I don't have to yell at you. Take your right forearm, and not very yoga-ish. Take your right forearm and place it on your right thigh, opening up to that left side. And then finally, inhale, take the left arm up to the sky and then forward towards the lake, just hugging that bicep next to your ear. Parsvakonasana here, a side angle pose. From the outside of your left foot, stretch all the way up to the hips and then all the way out through that left arm, those left fingertips. Let's fire up those fingertips a little bit. So wiggle through those fingertips. Feel that energy up that entire left side of your body. Inhale, exhale. Now, on your next inhale, we're going to let that left arm and your strong abs carry you up to center. And then exhale, arms out to a T, Warrior Two, Virabhadrasana. You can gaze out over your right hand, or you can gaze out to the left there, whatever feels more comfortable to your shoulders. Inhale, strengthen that back leg. Pull the inner thigh away from the ground, and on the exhale, let's see if you can move that right knee a little more towards the lake. Tuck the tailbone under, lift the shoulders. Nice, strong, peaceful warrior pose. Good. From here, inhale, hands to either side of that front foot. Pop that back foot and step on back to downward dog. Beautiful job, everyone. Gorgeous poses. Enjoy your breath. Inhale, take that left leg up behind you. Nice deep inhale. Stretching out towards the back. Lengthen the entire left side of the body. Let that right heel drop down towards the ground a little bit more. Good. One more. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Step on through. Again, grounding down 90-degree angle with that back foot. Check your alignment so your front heel bisects the back foot. And then bringing your left forearm to your left thigh, to the top of your left thigh, opening up to that right side. So twisting the heart to the right. And then finally, as the shoulder blades come together on the back, inhale, taking that right arm up to the sky. And then forward towards the legs, squeezing that bicep towards your ears. Inhale. Exhale, moving that back inner thigh away from the ground. So stretching it away as that front knee moves a little more forward. On your next inhale, letting that right arm carry you up to center. You're in two, Virabhadrasana 2. Exhale, sink into the pose. Good. Tuck the tailbone under, especially that right leg. See if you can, by tucking the tailbone under, you can get that right knee to move a little more forward. Gorgeous poses. Gazing out over that left hand. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, hands to either side of that front foot, and exhale, step on back, downward dog. Nice work, everyone. Inhale, let's take that right leg up behind you once again. On the exhale, step on through. 90-degree angle with the left leg. Check your alignment of your heel to middle of the foot. And then inhale, up and around, Warrior Two. So cartwheeling those hands around into Warrior Two pose right away. Tucking the tailbone under, pulling the belly in and up, connecting with the back of the spine. Nice, long, strong warrior here. Let's take our palms up to the sky to receive, squeezing those shoulder blades a little more together on the back. Now, keeping that, just take the palms and turn them back down towards the ground. Inhale, exhale. Now with that right hand, inhale, reaching forward. with that right hand. Pop the palm up to the sky and exhale, moving back, taking that arm back, your gaze up to your hand. Reverse warrior pose. Feeling that stretch along the entire right side of the body here, the right torso, getting a great stretch. Inhale, strengthen the back leg. Exhale, let that front knee come a little more forward. Beautiful. On your next inhale, moving back to Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2 pose. Exhale, sink. Full expression of the pose here. Nice deep breath. Exhale. Inhale, hands to either side of that front foot. Exhale, step on back, downward dog. Woo, nice work, everyone. Beautiful. Inhale, take that left leg up behind you. Reach out towards the back. On your exhale, step it on through. 90-degree angle with the back foot. Checking your alignment, bringing that front heel right to the middle of the back leg. And then inhale up and around Vira 2. Test, test. Vira 2. Good. Taking that right inner thigh away from your mat. So stretch it out away from the mat. Push back with the outside of that right foot, taking the left knee a little more forward. Inhale. Exhale. Just let the hips release. Let the hips sink. What are you hanging on to? Release. And then inhale, reaching forward with that left arm. And then popping the palm up. Exhale. Leaning back, taking this palm up to the sky and then back towards the back of your mat. Lifting the face up to the palm. Feeling that entire stretch on the left side here. Take the heart a little bit more up to the sky. So take your heart more open to the sky. Inhale. Exhale. Good. On your next inhale, moving back out to Warrior 2. Exhale, sink. Full expression of the pose here. Tucking that tailbone. Nice, strong warrior. Inhale, hands to either side of that front foot. Exhale, step on back, downward dog. Beautiful job, everyone. Taking the knees nice and wide, mat distance apart. Inhale, lowering down to those knees. Exhale, bringing the toes together and pushing on back to child's pose for just a breath or two. Grounding here, allowing your forehead to rest on the mat if it reaches, or taking your fist right under your forehead and resting your forehead. Grounding. Inhale. Exhale. Great. Reactivating those hands now, reactivating those palms, spreading the fingers nice and wide, turning the toes under. Inhale and exhale, push on back, downward dog. Inhale, look forward between your hands. And exhale, step or hop on forward. Uttanasana, forward fold once again. This time in Uttanasana, bend the knees a lot, bringing your upper thighs more parallel to the ground. And then wrap your hands behind your calves, bringing your belly to your thighs. So feeling that belly on your thighs here. And keeping that connection as you take the crown of your head down towards the ground. And on your next exhale, slowly straightening those legs, but don't lose that connection of belly to thighs. So only as far as you can go and keep that connection, you'll find a deeper stretch of your hamstrings here and the back of your legs. You'll also find a deeper opening in your lower back, so breathe into that low back opening here. Inhale, exhale. Good, releasing those hands down to the ground. Inhaling a half lift. Exhale, fold a little deeper. And then inhale, taking arms out and around, reaching up towards the sky. Back to Tadasana, mountain pose. And exhale, hands to heart center. Go ahead and step feet a little wider than hip distance apart. We're going to take a clasp of our hands behind our back, right at the sacral area. We're going to squeeze those elbows together, taking the shoulder blades on the back, and then lengthen those arms down towards the ground and out away from the body as the head and the heart float up. Nice deep inhale, and then exhale, folding forward. You can shimmy those shoulders up towards the lake a little bit, finding a little bit more opening, perhaps shimmying the left shoulder and then the right. And then the right and then the left, finding a little more opening. Perhaps those hands reach towards the lake. Ground down through four corners of the feet. Inhale. Exhale. Now bringing those hands back to your sacral area, and then inhale up into stand, Tadasana. Exhale, releasing those hands, stepping the feet back to just hip distance apart. Inhale, reaching those hands up and around. Exhale, let's dive forward, swan dive forward. Inhaling a half lift. And on your exhale, step that right leg back into straight leg lunge. Good. From here, let's slowly lower that back knee down to the ground, keeping that energy going out that heel. So again, it's as if you're just about ready to pick up that knee off the ground. So there's not a lot of weight in the knee. From here, inhale, hands up to that front thigh. And then just give a little encouragement for that front knee to move forward. As it moves forward, you counter that with just as much energy moving back through that back heel. Pull the belly button into the spine. Inhale. Exhale. And on your next inhale, take those arms up to the sky. Getting a nice stretch here through the psoas, getting a nice stretch through the hips. Inhale, take that front knee forward a little bit more. It's okay if it comes forward of the ankle here as long as you keep the energy in the back foot. Good. Next, inhale, hands to either side of that front foot. And exhale, step on back, downward dog. Good. Inhale, take the right leg up behind you. On the exhale, step on through, straight leg lunge. Get a little bit more stretch in those hips here. Push out through that back heel and slowly take that back knee down to the ground. Again, keep energy there. Inhale, bring the belly into the spine. Exhale and inhale, bringing those hands up to that top thigh. Giving that thigh a little, or that knee a little encouragement to move forward. And again, it's okay if it moves forward over the ankle. We want a nice deep stretch here. Let go of those hips. Inhale, exhale, and then finally inhale, hands up and around, reaching up towards the sky. Exhale. Beautiful. Inhale, hands to either side of that front foot, and on the exhale, step on back, downward dog. Inhale out to a high plank, high push-up position here. Again, you can lower the knees down to the ground, or you can keep them up. Nice deep inhale, head higher than shoulders, shoulders higher than hips, bringing those shoulder blades together on the back. Nice deep inhale, and take the entire exhale to slowly lower down to the ground, squeezing those elbows in towards the body as you lower. Beautiful job. Taking those hands again out to the side, more back by the waistline now if you would like, if you're a little more open in the shoulders. Taking the head of the arm bones up towards the ears to create space in the side body. Push down through the tops of all 10 toes. So feel all 10 toes going down through your mat. And then inhale, lifting the shoulders up to the sky and then back behind you, taking the heart forward. Cobra, beautiful heart opener here. Pushing the back of the head back. Keeping the neck nice and long. Inhale. Exhale. Turning through those toes. Inhale and exhale. Step on back. Downward dog. Nice work, everyone. Inhale. Let's take that right leg up behind you once again. Stretching out towards the back. On the exhale, open up to that right side, stacking the hips one on top of the other. Just taking both hip points to the right. For a little challenge here, a little more hip opening. And then on your next inhale, square those hips once again. Take that leg out behind you. Good. Inhale, bend through that right knee. And on the exhale, let's bring that right knee up to the right wrist, moving into pigeon pose here. So as that right knee moves up to the right wrist, the sole of that right foot should be right underneath your left hip point. Unless your hips are more open, then you can more parallel that lower leg to the front of your mat. Inhale, walk those fingertips back towards you, bringing the torso more vertical. Again, pull the belly in, tuck the tailbone down. See if you can find a little more opening here. Shoulder blades on the back as the heart moves forward. Back of the head moves into the back body. Gorgeous pose. From here, inhale, and then exhale, fold forward, coming down onto forearms. You can lace your hands together if you would like here, or you can keep them parallel. If you'd like a little bit more, you can walk those fingertips out, straight arms, bringing the crown of the head, the forehead rather, down to the ground. Sleeping pigeon pose. Hips are square to the ground here. Keep those back toes turned under for a little added challenge here, and keep pushing out through that back heel a little bit. Again, just enough so that it almost lifts that knee up off the ground. Inhale, exhale, release. We're going to release through we're going to sigh out our mouth here just to release through those hips a little bit more. So a nice deep inhale, everyone. Exhale, sigh. Let's do that once again. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, sigh. Just release. Let those hips melt down to the ground. Feeling that opening, we carry a lot of emotion, a lot of stress in our hips. So sometimes it takes a little encouragement or a lot of encouragement to let those hips release. Beautiful job. Inhale, let's walk those fingertips back towards the body. Now from here, we're going to sit more on that right hip, and we're going to swing that left leg around to the front, bringing the sole of that left foot to the outside of the right thigh. Again, taking the right foot back by your left hip. Yeah, and the sole of that left foot down to the ground. Beautiful job. Inhale your arms out to a T here. From there, let's go ahead and take our right arm back behind us, just cupping the ground on the mat. And then we're going to take a twist here. So we're going to take that left arm and twist it to the outside. Oh, I'm doing the wrong way. Okay, come up to a T. Yeah, that's what happens. Let's do it the other way. So our left arm down to the mat behind us, taking that right arm to the left, to the outside of that left leg. Again, using that isometric, the arm against the leg, to take the belly button over to the left side. So inhale, move back towards that back arm just a little bit to create space. And then exhale, see if you can twist a little bit deeper here to your left. Belly button to the left. Pushing down through that left sole of the foot. All four corners of the foot are pushing down through the ground. Inhale. Exhale. Perhaps you can take your chin to look back over that back shoulder, your left shoulder. On your next inhale, coming back to center. Go ahead and stack that left knee on top of the right here, taking soles of both feet out to the sides of your hips, pointing towards the back. And again, we're going to inhale, take our arms out to the side. And on the exhale, we're going to take our right arm up towards our ear, and then let that hand, the palm of the hand, come down towards the back. Just give yourself a little pat on the back here for doing such a great job. Take your left arm around your kidneys here and just take it around to the right side of your body. Hook it around the waistline or grab flesh clothing, whatever you can grab to help there. Lift the heart up to the sky, push back with the back of the head. The back of the head can push into that right forearm a little bit to increase your opening here. Inhale. Exhale. They call this cow face pose. I'm still not sure why, because I've never seen a cow look like this. And none of you look like cows. So I don't know why we call it that, but this is cow face pose. Go ahead now and take that left arm, and you can take the fingertips up towards the right, and perhaps your fingertips will meet. Perhaps you can take a clasp. If not, just grab flesh clothing, whatever, to increase your opening. Keep the chin up. Keep the heart open. Push the back of the head back into that forearm to increase your stretch here. Inhale. Exhale. One last inhale. And on the exhale, slowly release, taking arms back out to a T and then back down to the ground. Good. And then we're going to take the palms back down to the ground. This is going to be the fun part. Okay? So palms back down to the ground in front, right over shoulder. So fold forward just a little bit. And now we're going to swing that left foot back around, making our way back to downward, back to pigeon pose first. So swing that left leg around, just like you did to get it here. There you go, pigeon pose. From there, push down through the palms of the hands, turn through the back foot, and push on back, downward dog. Woo! You can, yeah, woo! You can go ahead and shake out that leg a little bit if needed. We all made it. That was my goal. All right, and then inhale, take that left leg up behind you. Stretching, reaching out towards the left. On the exhale, stacking the hips, opening up to that left side. You can bend through that top leg if you'd like for a little bit more opening, especially through the quad. If you squeeze that heel in towards the glutes, you're going to get a nice quad opening there if you need that this morning. On your next inhale, take the leg back out behind you, square the hips. Inhale, bend through the knee, and on your exhale, let's move that left knee up towards the left wrist. Again, coming into your pigeon pose, so find out what your most comfortable pose is here. Inhale, walk those fingertips, just cupping the ground back towards your body, and square the hips off. So if you've come more to your left hip, square that right hip down a little bit more so your hips are square to the ground. Good. From here, pull the belly button into the spine, send that sits bone, those tailbones down towards your heel, and then inhale, walk those hands forward, coming to your forearms. Or if you want a little bit more stretch, if your hips can handle it, taking those arms a little bit further forward, taking the forehead down to the ground. Again, keep those back toes turned under and keep stretching out towards the back. You'll get a deeper stretch in the hip if you just keep that energy through that back leg. Pull the belly button in, send the tailbone down towards the heel, and you'll square those hips a little bit better too. We're going to release here also, so with a nice deep inhale, exhale, sigh. Once again, nice deep inhale, exhale, sigh, release, surrender to the pose. Just enjoy your breath here and enjoy those hips releasing. And then on your next inhale, we're going to walk those hands back towards the body. Again, now we're going to take our weight. We're going to sit on that left hip and swing that right leg around to the front. Bringing the sole of that right foot down to the ground. All four corners of that right foot hit the ground. The left sole of the foot is back by your right hip, or it can be more parallel to the front of the mat if your hips are more open. You decide. But we do want both sits bones on the ground, so check and make sure. If your right sits bone isn't on the ground, go ahead and maybe sit up a little bit and then sit back down to take both to the ground. Good. Inhale, let's take our hands out to a T. Good. And on the exhale, we're going to reach that right hand behind us, cupping the ground right in the middle of our back, and then taking that left arm to the outside of our right thigh, getting a nice twist here. Inhale, breathe into your back body, move back towards that back arm, and then on the exhale, twist a little deeper, taking the belly button over to the right side. Keep your chin right in the middle of your chest here for just a little bit, and see if you can get that belly button to twist a little bit more. Ground down more through both sits bones, and twist a little deeper. Beautiful. From there, then you can take your chin back over that right shoulder if you would like, to increase the stretch. Inhale. Exhale, push down through all four corners of that right foot in case they've come up off the ground. And then with your next inhale, let's come on back to center. Arms out to a T once again. Let's stack that right knee on top of the left, taking the soles of both feet on the outside of our hips, reaching back towards the back. Beautiful. Arms out to a T. Inhale, let's take that left arm up to the sky. And then we're going to drop that left arm, that left hand behind us. And again, we're going to take the right arm just right across our kidneys here. Just hook it to the left side of the body for a little bit. Opening up the chest, opening up the heart, lifting the chin up so it's a little bit higher than parallel to the ground. Getting a nice stretch across the front side of the body here as we squeeze those shoulder blades together. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Maybe just walking those right fingertips down a little bit more, or left fingertips down a little bit more. And then go ahead and walk those right fingertips up to meet the left. Again, grabbing flesh, clothing, whatever, or perhaps you actually do grab your fingertips. Taking a clasp here if you do. Again, keeping the chin up. We don't want to sacrifice this heart opening in front to get the clasp in back. So keep the heart open and keep pushing the back of the head into that left forearm for a deeper stretch. Inhale. Exhale. Good. On your next inhale, slowly release, taking arms out to a T. Exhale, letting those hands come down to the side once again. Again, we're going to lean forward a little bit here, palms down to the ground. We're going to keep that left leg right where it is. We're going to swing that right leg out back, moving into pigeon pose once again. Good. And then turning through those back toes, pressing down through the palms. Inhale, exhale, push on back, downward dog. Gorgeous job. Inhale, taking those knees down nice and wide, bringing the toes together in back. And exhale, push on back, child's pose. Again, taking a couple breaths here in child's pose, breathing into that low back. And then coming up to a seated position, taking our hips back to our heels, taking the torso up, and then swinging our legs out in front of us. We're going to do a couple stretches here on the ground. So removing flesh or clothing from your sits bones so you can ground down into the earth. Dandasana or staff pose here. So just feeling that spine come into alignment, the back of the head pushes back, pulling the belly in. You can even lift up a little bit and send those groins back a little bit more for a better connection here with those sits bones. And then inhale, arms up, and exhale, folding forward, reaching out towards those toes. Perhaps your hands come to your calves, ankles, or perhaps they meet your feet. Wherever they are, enjoy this opening. Breathe into that back side of the body. Take the crown of the head more forward. This is more about length, crown of the head forward, than it is about nose to your knee or nose to your thigh. Okay, so gazing out over your first toe, your big toe, push down through both legs so you feel that connection with the earth, and let your torso be long, reaching the crown of the head forward as the groins move in opposition back. Inhale. Exhale, one more inhale, and then exhale, just folding forward. You can round through the back. Just enjoy your breath here. Good. And then inhale, let's walk those fingertips back towards the body, coming back up to a seated Dandasana or staff pose. We're going to go ahead and bring the soles of the feet together here, Baddha Konasana or cobbler's pose. Again, I always like to lift up my hips and take them back a little bit so I'm on like the front of my sits bones. That way I can lengthen through my knees a little bit better. Do push the soles of your feet together so you feel them connect and keep the energy moving together, lengthening out that upper thigh towards your knees. Inhale, sitting up nice and tall. And then exhale, let's fold forward. You can grab your feet with your hands if you would like. I even like to open up my feet a little bit, kind of like a book I'm opening up. Takes my knees down to the ground a little bit more, increases the stretch of that inner thigh. Inhale, exhale. Again, groins back, crown of the head moves forward. So we're really lengthening through that upper body. Inhale. Exhale. Beautiful job, everyone. Inhale, coming back up to center. And exhale, taking those legs out in front of you, bringing soles of the feet to the mat. We're going to do a few, couple boat poses, Navasana, to work our abs a little bit. So from here, we're going to come to our tippy toes, rolling back to the back of our sits bones. Hands right behind thighs here, and they can stay right there. Lengthening one leg up, and then the other. And then finding your pose here, keeping that back nice and straight. Arms can come out to the side. They can definitely stay on the back of the thighs if you would like. If you want a little bit more challenge, they can come up to the sky. And if you want even more challenge, straighten those legs, spread through the toes. Inhale, exhale, Inhale, big smile on your face. And exhale, let's fold forward. We're gonna cross through those feet and give ourselves a little lift here, working those low abs. So as the palms or fists move down into the earth, we're lifting that torso up off the ground. And then settling it back down. Beautiful, we're gonna do that one more time. So you find your place where you're really being challenged here in Navasana boat pose. Okay, taking tips of the toes down to the ground, rolling back to the back of the sits bones. Feeling nice and light here, nice strong back, shoulders on the back. Inhale, legs up in front, arms out to the side, back behind the thighs, or up to the sky. Again, push out through the ball of the foot, spread those toes wide. Inhaling, exhale, inhale, exhale, one more, Dawn wants one more, inhale, and exhale, let's fold on forward, just give yourself a big hug here. Good, and then we're going to take those soles of the feet back down to the ground and slowly lower down to our back body, moving into our final pose of rest. But before we do, we're going to take one final supine twist. So take your feet right underneath your knees and then move them out just a little bit towards the end of your mat. Okay, so just a little bit. Mat distance apart, so nice wide feet, so they're on either sides of the mat. On your next inhale, slowly lower both knees to the right side. As you do so, reach out with both arms to a T, keeping both shoulders down to the ground. Getting a nice twist here. If you'd like a little bit more, you can take the sole of that right foot and place it on the outside of the left thigh for a little added stretch here. Just breathe into that entire left side of the body. Inhaling. Exhale. Soles of the feet down to the ground. I know you want to stay here forever. Inhale those knees back up to center. And we're going to take that on the other side. So on your next exhale, slowly lower both knees down to the ground. And again, for a little bit more, take that left foot and you can place it on the outside of the right thigh. Both shoulders on the ground. Let's take palms up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale. Soles of the feet down to the ground. Inhale, knees back up to center. Good. And then bringing the knees into your chest, just give yourself a big hug here. Maybe rolling across that low back, across that sacral area. Doing circles around the sacrum to one side and then maybe the other, just rolling out any stresses. And then slowly from here, lengthening those legs towards the lake. And then taking the arms out to the side, palms up at about a 45-degree angle away from the body. So they're coming towards the lake at 45 degrees, shimming those shoulders underneath the back so you feel their weight, you feel their connection with the earth beneath you. You feel the connection of the hips. The hips are heavy, the eyes start to close here. And then finally allowing the palms to come down to the ground and moving yourself back up into your comfortable seated position. Allowing the head to hang heavy and the eyes to remain closed as you move. And then finally, once you're in that seated position, bringing the chin up to parallel. We will close our practice this morning by chanting together Om one last time with a nice deep breath. Om Shanti, Om Peace. I bow to the goodness and light in each and all of you. Namaste. I really hope you enjoyed your yoga practice this morning. Thank you for joining us for Yoga in the Park, and I hope that you can join us next week.